In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Side podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement. The Have You Seen It podcast.
Welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight, and sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Kraus. Cash, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good today.
Just in the nick of time. You know, I was trying to make that nice and slow because I noticed the mic, the arm mic was far away. You pulled it in like a pro,
well,
right
I'm
on.
A pro. I know what's happening. I know. I always hit my marks.
Wow.
Never have to
That's
do
impressive.
it. Never
you didn't
have
even
to
take
do
an
it.
acting class either.
Nope, never did it. Well, it comes
you
back.
just know how to. Well, it's a natural born killer.
But guess what I'm doing today?
I have no idea.
It's why if I wouldn't have asked you to guess if I knew you knew.
Going to a pumpkin patch? That's a good guess.
That's a good guess.
That's a good guess, yeah.
No, I'm not gonna fuck. I'm going to see a movie today.
Oh, you fucking bastard! That's
Going
right. Yeah.
to sit in a theater
Yeah, it must be
and
nice.
see a fucking movie, an actual movie. I'm gonna be this is gonna be me in the seat watching a movie projected from a projector onto a large screen. Popcorn probably flowing, drinks, cold, crisp drinks.
Right.
It's probably only going to be me in the theater, probably a private theater, maybe.
A private theater event is pretty nice, I gotta say.
Maybe we'll get one of the ticket takers, give me a nice little massage
Yeah.
while I'm watching. They're not doing much anymore, but it's going to be just fucking heaven.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like something.
First
I would love
time
to do.
in how long has it been?
How
long?
Since February, so almost a year.
Oh, it feels like 10, though. It feels like a lifetime that I've been back into the theater.
Yeah,
But, I don't want to rub it in.
well, you're kind of rubbing it in. Just
But
a
man, is it going to be nice? Is it going to be nice? It's been so long.
little. What film are you gonna go see?
Little
Little
film you might have heard of.
Might have heard of this.
Oh, you mean me?
This Nolan director guy.
Yeah, this old Chris Nolan, I call him.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
You're on
Nolan.
good terms with the
I
man.
am on good
Yeah,
terms, but,
first name
I think
basis.
he's got a new little flick coming out that I might go see.
Okay.
A little Tenet action.
Little Tenet
So
action.
we'll see.
All right,
We'll see.
okay.
See what's that all
It
about.
sounds like fun. Sounds like something
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
really
I'm sorry you
wish I
can't
could
go. I'm sorry you can't go. It's
Fortunately,
gonna be,
I am
gonna be-
going to work.
Yeah.
Which fucking
Well,
sucks.
you need Tuesdays, Wednesdays off.
I do. I do
'Cause
need Tuesdays.
Everyone's
and Wednesdays
trying to
off.
get Tuesdays,
Yeah.
Wednesdays off.
Those are the days to get
so
off.
those are hot days to have off. So it's gonna be awesome though. I'm actually going to a theater. I didn't think it was possible, and I don't know how it's possible because the government hasn't said.
They didn't.
So
they
it
didn't
might
give
be
you the
some.
okay.
It might be some illegal,
Right.
and they might have to
Some
like
black market
sneak
theaters.
me back and do a back door. So who knows? But I'll make sure to let you know how it goes.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know how you like the film too, because I'll probably go see it this weekend since
Yeah.
our theaters open
You'll
around
see
here.
it. Yeah, I won't reveal anything, of course. But I'll probably be speechless. But that's not why we're here today.
No, we're not.
I'm just very excited, and I did want to rub it in.
Yeah, I know. You did. I know you did. In person.
Yeah,
I know how it is.
in person. But
Well,
we're here to see to talk about a pretty new movie.
yeah, we are.
A movie that did not go into theaters,
No,
but was supposed to.
it was supposed to. Yes,
But we got the COVID,
of course,
the little quarantina.
per usual.
Yeah, hit us hard. The pandy. Yeah. So they pulled it.
They did.
And it was released on Netflix just a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, October 16th.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little Aaron Sorkin. Have you ever heard of that guy?
No, I've heard just really mundane, boring writer, just not
a master craftsman, they call him, of the pen.
And I would have to agree with that.
And now he's wearing taking the screenwriter hat off, putting
Putting
on the director's cap.
Yeah.
He has directed one other movie before, Molly's Game, that I never saw, but it does have my my gal in it, Jessica Chastain.
Ooh, that is your gal.
So I was aware of the film, but I never saw
Right,
it.
we never saw it.
But yeah, he's known as, I mean, he's a top tier, one of the best screenwriters of our time.
And easily the best court drama writer of
Yeah.
all time. West Wing.
Everyone praises him.
phenomenal.
Well, people say still say like directors, Quentin Tarantino still say The Social Network is one of the best screenplays ever written.
Yep.
I mean, people talk about it all the time. They say it was one of the best screenplays ever written.
Yeah.
So he's fucking awesome.
He's amazing.
He's like a Charlie Kaufman or a Tarantino
Right.
when it comes to writing. He's fucking good. But he's directing this time.
He is.
Writing and directing.
And I thought he did a very, very good job with this movie.
Well, the writing was phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Of course.
But,
and like that was the thing too. Like courtroom dramas, typically very serious. You know, there aren't a lot of beats or a lot of moments to make you laugh, make you cry. But dude, this film really had it all. But what I was most impressed with, and we were talking about this a little
And we're
bit
talking
off air.
about the trial of the Chicago 7.
Yes,
by the
Trial
way.
of the Chicago 7 on Netflix right now. But dude, the comedy in this just hit.
It was really
It
funny,
was
surprisingly
funny.
funny. Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah,
man.
normally I don't like. I mean, normally I'm not super into these political dramas, you know. But this,
Oh, I love them.
But this one is so, and not on purpose. It's just so timely, so relevant for today.
Of course.
It's so relevant, and again, you know, it's not like this shit started cracking off, and Aaron Sorkin's like, I gotta write this fucking movie.
He wrote this in 2007.
Spielberg was supposed to write it.
Yes, he was. He's
And then
supposed to direct it. Yeah.
supposed to direct it.
Yeah,
Yeah, my
I knew
bad.
what you meant.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know how much stuff Spielberg writes.
Not probably not much of anything.
But yeah, and then the writer's strike happened,
It did.
and I guess it just kind of got shelved for the most part. But I can see this being a Spielberg kind of film.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they didn't give Spielberg enough money, so he said he couldn't do it.
Right.
Because Spielberg can only direct. He's, I guess, no artistic ingenuity back or no artistic take at all because he needs a lot of money these days to direct anything.
Yeah.
Because he has to have top tier actors always. Because he wanted Will Smith to play
Bob Seal.
Yep,
Bobby Seale.
and he wanted who? He wants someone else to play.
Seth Rogen to play Jerry Rubin.
Yeah, and he wants someone else to play the lawyer too. I can't remember. Someone really famous, but yeah, they said Spielberg.
Yeah, it was Heath Ledger a day
Yeah,
before
he
he
wanted
died.
Heath Ledger. Yeah, he was supposed to go in to meet with him the day before he fucking
passed
died.
away. Yeah.
Jesus
That's
Christ. Spielberg probably didn't take that well.
No, probably not. Probably not.
That's pretty harsh. I mean,
I think that's probably his last straw. He's like, I'm not doing this film.
He's like, that guy killed himself to not work with me. I can't do this fucking film.
I got to see the writing on the wall here.
Yeah. But yeah, I could see this though totally being up Spielberg's. I mean, not like in the 80s, this wasn't something Spielberg would do, but these days, political anything, he's all about that Oscar baby.
Of course.
He's
of
all
course.
about. But yeah, I was just surprised how, you know, I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised how history always repeats itself.
It does.
But this just seemed like it was a reflection of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I guess when you do really good stuff, it just, you know, the real world will mirror it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, because it's very timely. And I don't know very much about the Chicago 7. But I mean, I didn't know, but much
I did
before
know
that.
about the gagging before. I did.
Yeah,
hear-
I didn't-
That was a pretty famous thing that happened in the courtroom.
Yeah, and that happened much over longer. That was days that guy was gagged.
Yeah. It was, well, I mean, but you can't really do that in film.
Well, everything has to be sped up.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was 200 days of trial. You couldn't show 200 days of
No,
trial. It would be
you
a
can't do
very
it.
long
Yeah.
film.
Did you know that after Steven Spielberg did not end up directing this film in 2007, they had two directors that were rumored to direct. One was Paul Greengrass and the other, Ben Stiller.
Yes, I did know
Ben
that.
Stiller's a great
and Paul
director.
Greengrass and Ben Stiller both worked together in films
Yeah.
too. So
So they probably could have just done it together.
yeah, but Ben Stiller, that would be interesting. He's only directed comedies, Ben Stiller, and he's only directed a few comedies. Duplex is one of them, and I don't know what else, but that would have been very interesting. But yeah, let's talk about the performances. Sacha Baron Cohen, I have to bring him up. I always try to praise him as much as possible. He is so damn good in this. He's so damn good in everything, but he really, I thought, carries the film in this. And has an American accent.
He does.
Pretty impressive.
He was pretty petrified.
They didn't dub
to
his
do it,
voiceover.
too. No, they did not dub his voiceover, which is good.
They didn't give him the old Hellraiser treatment. They just say, we'll redub this and no one will notice. But he's great, man. He's one of my favorite actors, Sacha Baron Cohen. I mean, one, he's pretty much a method actor for, what the roles he does. But I think when it's all said and done 40 years from now, people will go back and praise Sacha Baron Cohen for all the shit he does. Dude. He's such an amazing actor. And he's able to just completely consume these roles and become the person that he is portraying. But I can't wait for Borat, too.
Borat in 2 days. I mean, by the time this is released, it'll be out.
It'll be out.
It'll be out.
Yeah, this Friday. And I hear there's some crazy shit already fucking coming from that.
Oh, yeah. I could imagine. I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah.
It's going to be funny.
It's going to be really funny. But yeah, he kills it in this. He's playing one of the 7. Who's he playing again in this?
Hoffman.
Abby Hoffman.
Yes.
Abby Hoffman, who was a political activist and whatnot.
And he was
a comedian.
and a comedian,
and
too.
A stand-up comedian, yeah.
He was very, very petrified and terrified in general of trying to pull off an American accent because he said Abby Hoffman had a very specific voice.
Yes.
So he had to work on that quite a bit. But I thought he pulled it off well. His American accent.
I've never heard Abby Hoffman talk.
No, I just mean as far as an American accent.
Oh,
goes,
absolutely.
I thought it sounded
it's a
just
mix.
fine.
It's like almost a Boston accent.
Yep.
But yeah, absolutely, he did great. And what's his name? Joseph Gordon-Levitt did amazing.
Awesome.
There's so many good. Eddie Redmayne, who also does American accent in this, did really, really good. But yeah, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt in these kind of roles where he really gets to show his acting chops. I thought he was great.
And as the prosecutor, I thought he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the judge was awesome.
Was one of the highlights. And wow, Frank Langella.
Frank Langella, who's in a ton of stuff, plays Julius Hoffman, one of the shittiest judges
in American history.
My God, to have such a high profile case and have a judge like this on it, dude, it shows the corruption of the 60s.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's talk about him for a little bit.
And not the first Nixon film he was in either.
Yes.
He was in Frost Nixon.
Yes, in Frost Nixon, yeah. He's great, man. He's great at playing this kind of 1960s conservative kind of. But yeah, the writing again is so funny, but that whole bit of he's like, just to make clear, Mr. Hoffman and me are not related. Strike that
come on, Dad.
Dad, no. He's like, but yeah, he's just, and that really happened.
No, I know.
They could not get him off of it. It's so fucking, and the judge was obsessed. He was very upset that, one of the guys, one of the lawyers had long hair. He was constantly bringing up how disrespectful it was, to have long hair. And then when eventually all those guys got arrested for contempt, because he's going contempt constantly.
God, he was given so many contempt.
He made the prisoners cut their hair, and during the trial he brought the hair out. Or no, the sheriff during a press conference brought the hair out and was waving it around like a trophy.
That's so wild.
It's just so stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah, well, it's childish too. It's just I'm in control. I can do what I want.
This judge can't do his job because he's so distracted that this guy's got long hair. He can't think. He can't listen to these people because he's so fucking distracted that this guy's got long hair in his court. It's just.
It makes you wonder, how does a guy like that get in one of the highest courts,
It makes you wonder how many more judges are like that. You have to assume a lot.
The incompetence.
Yeah, you have to assume any old judge from the 60s is like that.
Right.
And sees a guy with long hair and his brain just ceases functioning.
It's wild.
He just can't handle it. But yeah, he did a phenomenal job playing this judge, though, with the frustration and whatnot.
And there were funny moments, too, that he had as well. I mean, egregious, where you're just like, how is this guy a judge? But also very funny moments.
Yeah, well, apparently in the court, in real life, Abby Hoffman played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and Jerry Rubin, played by Jeremy Strong, who does an amazing job.
Yes,
He's a method
he
actor.
does.
Apparently, they were heckling the judge the entire time. That's why they got so much. Apparently, throughout the entire time, they were fucking heckling this
so
guy.
funny.
Yeah, and they did. They wore
They
the
did,
robes.
yeah.
They wore.
Okay, I was laughing so hard at that scene where they're wearing the robes, right? And then he goes, "Do you have clothes underneath?"
And he's
they
got to
go,
check. Yeah.
"Oh yeah, we do." And then they take off the robes and they have police uniforms on. So funny. He's like, "Contempt."
Yeah, contempt. So one of them ended up getting 4 years for contempt. Which is what it is.
Dude, contempt's a big deal, man. Like, and to get that many counts
Luckily,
of it,
all of this shit ended up being overturned.
of course.
Because they've like, this judge is, he's mentally unstable. You can't have this guy, but everything got overturned. But that's the thing I was talking about is I didn't know a lot about this. And it's just such a crazy, crazy story of them trying to convict these guys and then trying to convict
Bobby Seale.
Bobby Seale. Was like,
Who
I
was
wasn't
literally-
even there.
I wasn't even there. I was in town for 4 hours, and then they're
Yeah.
trying to get him in connection with a murder in Connecticut for a cop.
Well,
It's
you know,
just
the
like,
only
oh
reason
my
he was
God.
there because he was, associated with the Black Panthers, but because every other defendant was white.
Yep.
So they needed one black guy to scare the
jury.
jurors. So they had to bring Bobby Seale in, and that guy
Well,
got the
and then
worst
to
of all
refuse-
of it.
Exactly, and then to refuse him the right to have a lawyer.
Yeah, well, not only that, but then refuse him to represent himself.
Right,
That's
to represent himself and
that's
to
against-
cross-examine the
That's
witnesses.
against the Constitution. That's
It's
against
very-
every. I mean, it's
yeah.
such a blatant disregard for the law. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude. It's crazy that and not only that, but it's like super powerful people are the defenders. From the government. So it's these people are.
Well,
just,
they were appointed by the Attorney General.
and they're just sitting here while this shit, which was Nixon or it was Johnson at the time, but Nixon, or it was the Democrat convention.
Yes.
So Lyndon
Lyndon B.
was stepping
Johnson was-
down
yep.
because he didn't want to run again, and then Nixon was about to become president. But so it's a crazy fucking time in America, dude. It is a similar. It's like it's crazy how much it mirrors today with like the policing and shit.
Right.
And how they ended up saying that was the whole thing of those riots was they ended up calling it a police riot. Was police mishandling the use of protesters.
Well, I mean, when you don't give them a place to protest and then you corner them,
They're
what do
gonna
you expect
protest.
is going to happen.
Yeah, they're gonna protest.
Violence will ensue. Chaos will ensue. It's just going to
And that's
happen.
what
when you corner
protesting
them.
is you're protesting against something that you don't believe in. So them telling you can't protest, that's going to give you much more emphasis to protest.
I think there are a little bit of differences in some of the protests that have taken place in Portland and Seattle. I think those are ridiculous.
I think it's very they did a good job of showing how even in the 60s they were talking about how this is the liberal left and how this is they're coming to riot and all this shit when and that they were trying to incite violence with the cops and shit. They did a good job of shining light on all that. And they also did a good job of shining like how these characters have all been kind of misrepresented as these dirty, druggy hippies, even Eddie Redmayne's character, that time. And it's like, how do you want them to remember you? Do you want them to remember you as, and that is kind of what the government tried to do so hard to do is show these people, which really the worst thing they did was protest peace. But the fucking government hated that. So,
Well, yeah, and it was anti-war too during the Vietnam War.
they did not like that.
Well, I mean, in you look back in history and you look at the Vietnam War, tens of thousands of Americans, 100,000 at least Vietnam people.
I think it was
Vietnamese-
millions.
Well, yeah, died unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like just the whole
nothing,
thing was
yeah.
just awful. And then
Well, then
to
the
protest
people
something like that.
and the people that were protesting such an outrageous war were getting beaten and hosed and shit for just protesting something tragic that was happening. So it's a very sad fucking.
What's
story.
sad all the way around too, because then you get drafted, whether you agree with the war or not. You get drafted, and then you come home, and then you're getting treated horribly
Yeah.
when you come home. It's just like it was a no-win situation all the way around.
Yeah, that the government put everyone in through.
Exactly.
Just so some people can fucking, help them sleep at night and become very, very rich. A lot of people made a lot of money. They always do off fucking
They
war.
always
but,
do.
But yeah, Aaron Sorkin did such a good job of writing that and just showing, just the corruption and whatnot. And again, how it mirrors not just today, but it mirrors constantly throughout history. You know, there's always been these oppressors and whatnot. But yeah, I really enjoyed it though.
Yeah, as did I. I love those scenes too when they're at the conspiracy place, the conspiracy law firm, I guess is what you would call it.
It's like
their
headquarters. Or whatever, yeah.
But I love that dialogue between Abby Hoffman, which is Sacha Baron Cohen, and Rennie Davis, which was Tom Hayden, rather, which was Eddie Redmayne.
Yep.
Awesome. That dialogue between them was so good for like what they fought for. Because, you know, Eddie Redmayne's character, Tom Hayden, he's like, whoa, we got to do this right. They're going to look back and they're only going to remember you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you could see it from both their perspectives.
You can, yes.
And like, it's the kind of thing where it's like at some point you do got to stand up and you do got to break the law. You know, you got to do what's right, and that's, you know. But A. Raymond's character was that side of like, no, we can do this without breaking the law and whatnot. He stood for the judge when no one else stood, which was a big fuck you to the movement, and everyone was pretty upset about that.
Yeah, understand.
Even that scared the shit out of me. Even the maid, when they go and see she's like, I noticed what you did.
You stood up.
Pretty much a fuck you. Yeah, she didn't say it, but
basically.
Yeah, a little on the nose, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I don't, even if it, you know, Tom's whole excuse was it wasn't though, because they gave it was instinctual, yeah, but but still, like, when something that egregious happens in a courtroom, how can you stand for it?
And it's happening against you.
Yeah, and
not just you people,
yeah.
but it's happening against you. I mean, at that point, you know, you got to fucking, you got to stand up. You got to do, I mean, literally not stand up, but stand up for not standing up. Right. But yeah, I loved, there's some really funny dialogue to go back. I love between Jerry Rubin and Abby Hoffman. Or not even that, between his lawyer when he's like, because when they're talking about the jurors, they're like, why isn't there anyone that looks like me in the fucking jury? He's like, well, have you ever gone to jury duties? They're like, oh, yeah. Because
like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, the dialogue was just so good in this film.
And the Allen Ginsberg joke I liked a lot, too. When they're marching and they're like, and all the cops, remember, it was all the undercover cops who were just fucking shitty fucking. At this point, you know, they're fucking pigs when they're just trying to institute people, to incriminate them just for, you know, trying to, you know.
Yes.
But just the undercover, and they were like, yeah, he was doing a war chant, and he was just doing the thing.
Yeah, the yeah. When I love then
at one point he's still doing it, and Jeremy Strong turns around and he goes, "Shut the fuck up, Alan." He's like, "You really, you're about to piss me off now." But,
I love the girl cop. What character was that?
I can't remember. There's some roles that I really thought were going to have a much larger role. Mm-hmm. Like I thought at some point, you know, I thought we were going to see more of her because she was kind of good, kind of not.
Yeah. But that was so funny though, because they're like falling in love at the bar. She buys him a drink.
They only knew each other for 94 hours.
94 hours, and then immediately cut to she's testifying against him as an FBI agent.
But she was like one of the few good cops to like not just straight up lie.
Right.
She was the only one
at least
that just told the truth.
Them to get away. Yeah.
She's the only one that just told the truth and just said that none of them were involved in the violence, which was true. None of them were. They all left to go to the convention.
To the convention. Yeah.
That was my favorite scene, though, is when they go to the convention and it's just the imagery and the picture it paints. I mean, they really nail it. I mean, they're laying it on thick. Sacha Baron Cohen says when he's doing the stand-up, he's like, yeah, it was like, it's the 50s mean the 60s.
Yeah. With the window in the glass.
Inside there, it's the 50s, you know, nothing's changed. They're safe, which is bullshit. You weren't really safe in the 50s as much as you're when we're still fighting wars. We're fighting the Korean War. We just don't talk about the Korean War.
I know, it's weird, isn't it?
Just as many Americans died in the Korean War as they did the Vietnam War, and it was half the amount that the Vietnam War. It only lasted for 5 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, no one talks about that. No. Because we didn't win it outright. Trust me, people tried not to talk about the Vietnam War too. I mean, the people in charge don't try to talk about it. Yeah. But it's the people that lived it that keep it alive. Because any war you don't outright win, you just want to forget about it.
It's like an ex-girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
You just want to forget.
It's not as patriotic to say, yeah, we kind of just left.
Right.
But I just love that scene when he's like, it was the 50s meeting the 60s counterculture, but they did it in a very literal way where it was them breaking
the
that
glass.
glass barrier, and finally those two worlds, met and collided, and then because it's done in an awesome way to where one of the patrons in the bar turns around, and it's supposed to like symbolize like out of all these people, maybe 1% of these people turns around and says, is anyone else seeing this? What's going on? But no one fucking else looked at it. So I just love it. That's great. That's Aaron Sorkin through and through. That's just great fucking writing. And then the glass breaks, those two worlds finally collide. And at that point, you're supposed to realize that, you can't pretend it's not happening anymore.
Right.
Even if you're fucking rich 1%, you have to realize there's change. There's
is.
change coming, but it didn't really come. The war lasted another 20 years.
Unfortunately. I do love the. I don't love this as far as American history, but Michael Keaton. We'll talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, what a great
Ramsey
surprise!
Clark. Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen very many trailers for this, but I don't think he was shown in the trailers, which is a rare thing to do these days when they want to show you fucking everything. And if you got a big name like Michael Keaton, usually they want to show it. Yeah, so I really like that. And he just had a cameo.
He did. He played the former attorney general, and I love this role for him. I thought he knocked it out of the park for what they gave him or for what he had to work with. But wow, how egregious was this?
It's crazy.
The attorney general, the former attorney general of the United States, testified.
You could tell Julius Hoffman was nervous.
Very.
He's like, I don't want to put you in contempt. He's like, because he'll have his fucking job.
Of course. It's a former attorney general.
But for them to not have any of the jurors in there when he's saying all that shit, and when he's saying, yeah, the cops started it.
Yeah.
And then the judge going, strike all that. Yeah. It's not useful.
No.
What do you mean? It's the entire reason.
Man.
It's crazy.
It was wild.
And if he was the former attorney general, so he really couldn't do anything. Right.
But I love how Ramsey Clark, Michael Keaton, as he's walking out, he goes, just cut your losses, just start on the appeal.
Crazy.
Because he knew right then and there. He knew where that was heading.
Yeah, well, him and Lyndon B. Johnson both came out before all this and said, you just strike it and just don't go with any of the convictions at all. But they didn't listen to him. They just ended up going ahead and
just doing it.
Thank God, though, again, all that shit, even the contempt and everything was stricken down.
Yeah.
They reversed all that.
But I think one or two of them ended up still serving 5 years.
It might have been for something else. Yeah. But most of I don't think any of them ended up serving. I know at one point they did say that they had to serve for crossing state lines or whatever to incite the riot, but I'm pretty sure they ended up reversing all the shit, yeah.
Okay.
Because all the guys, none of the guys were really, none of them were doing anything. All the 7 were all peaceful protesters, especially the one guy who, the Zodiac killer from the Zodiac, from David Fincher's, remember? The guy who doesn't punch anyone or whatever.
Oh, duh, yes. Okay, yeah.
he's the
Rudy.
Was that his name? Yeah. Who I also thought was going to have a much bigger, because remember they kept showing his family?
David Dellinger. John Carroll Lynch.
And he kept calling Derringer.
Yeah, Derringer.
The fucking judge can't even get the people's names.
I know, the defendant's right. Stupid.
But yeah, he was. I thought there would be a little more with his family, because when he hit the guy, his family stood up like, what the fuck? But we never really got any more. I thought we'd get a little more. But yeah, I think.
I know. I thought the boy was gonna be like, "Oh, I'll never love you again, Dad."
Yeah, or something.
I know he looked like he was.
But there was an hilarious scene when he's talking to his lawyer, and he's like, "I was a conscious objector. There's tons of conscious objector in war." He's like, "World War II? Even I want to fucking hit you." It's like everyone fought fucking World War II.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy was a conscious objector in World War II.
Yep.
But that guy was charged for inciting a riot. The guy who never hit anyone or refused to even fight the Nazis. Of all the people, you're going to fight the fucking Nazis.
Yeah, I would hope.
He didn't even want to hurt a Nazi.
He's like, I'm good. Like, I'm just not going to do it.
I thought that was good, though. But yeah, all the 7, they were played and portrayed really well.
Yeah, they were.
It was a good movie.
It was a great
It was surprising. It wasn't on the top of my list, because I didn't even know that Aaron Sorkin. I had no idea. I thought it was just going to be a
For me, I'm completely different. This is definitely going to hit my top 10.
Oh,
This was
I
one of my
enjoyed it.
favorite-
No, I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah,
This might have been my
I'm saying
favorite
before I
film.
saw it, it wasn't on the top of my list. To
Oh,
go
I
see,
see what you're
just because
saying.
it's
Right.
not really my type of movie. But after I saw it, yeah, it's. And I ended up doing a ton of reading on the Chicago 7 after. It got me super interested in that. So I ended up reading a lot of that. And the whole Bobby Seale thing is fucking insane.
Crazy.
He's played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. Remember that name because he was supposed to be in the new Candyman, and he was just confirmed to be in the new Mad Max spinoff, Furiosa.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
So he's gonna be a big name soon.
Yeah,
But he's got a crazy name, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty unique.
It's pretty unique.
You're not gonna get it wrong. You're not gonna
not.
get mixed up with anyone else. But yeah, that whole thing. I ended up looking into Bobby Seale more, and that whole thing is fucking crazy. That guy. There's another guy that was supposed to talk. That guy got sick, so they called Bobby Seale in to cover for that guy. He ended up getting arrested for murder and inciting a riot.
This
and
was
all
all
that shit.
during the time when Fred Hampton got shot and killed too. In that
During the
raid.
trial. Yeah, I got murdered. I mean, they say it here, but yeah. I think now it's evidence that he did get fucking murdered. But crazy.
It is.
Crazy time in
Crazy
American
time,
history.
Yeah, the 60s were wild.
60s were
I'm
wild.
sure we'll look back at the 60s the same way we look back at these times.
I think so. I think you hit it
Pandemic,
right on the head.
everything.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
man. It's
Which is
crazy.
wild to think. It's wild to even say out loud.
I know.
That there could be another time as wild as the 60s.
Yeah.
I mean, but
Well,
you
especially
kinda feel
after
it.
election.
You kind
I
of
mean,
feel
either
it.
way, dude, it's gonna
Hopefully,
shit's
it
gonna
calms
get wild.
down a little after the. I mean, after January.
Yeah, I'm not trying to have like hyperbole, but I don't believe so.
Well, you got to think the election's November, but inauguration's day not till January.
Yeah.
So no matter what, we have 3 months of
Of craziness.
yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, it's gonna be
Either
wild.
way, yeah, that's the thing. I'm It's
excited.
interesting time. No, I'm staying
not.
in this fucking basement, dude, for
Thank
3
God
months.
you got the basement
Thank
locked
God I don't
down.
live in LA or anything like that, because dude, shit
Or in
is
Washington,
wild.
D.C., I gotta think.
Or DC, yeah. Any of these big cities, I'm good. I'm far away from them, so.
Yep.
Alrighty, well, that is our review for the trial of the Chicago 7. If you guys like what you're seeing here, you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. If you'd like to find our podcast in audio format, you can find that on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our social media pages, Twitter, Seen It Podcast. Cash is on Twitter, that's just Cash. Instagram, Have You Seen It? Facebook, Have You Seen It Podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.